What else? You're so happy. Hey you guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Nathina Antoinette. Today we are going to be exploring the topic of breastfeeding, which if you have been a subscriber to my channel for a long time, then you know this is one of my favorite topics. I love nurturing my baby, but I also know how hard it can be. And oh my gosh, these are the magnetic lashes. So if it starts to lift, just know it's my first time putting it on. And I didn't know what I was doing. My dad sent these to me as like a joke. And I was like, I'm gonna just try them out. So just ignore that. So today we are going to be talking about a few things you should know before starting your breastfeeding journey. Hopefully this will help things run a lot smoother for you. So first things first, let's talk about pain. That's one thing a lot of people want to know. Does it hurt? How long will it hurt? Is there anything I can do to avoid the pain? The pain that you may experience with breastfeeding is subjective. Everyone has a different pain tolerance. And you have to understand that babies suck very hard. Your nipples, unless you know you get down like that, are not being sucked that often, that hard. So there is going to be a period of toughening up, as older people call it, that your nipples have to go through. Some people will say, you know, you have to pinch your nipples before, that way they could be tough and ready. Oh my word. So they could be tough and ready for the baby to nurse. I don't do that. I just thug it out. Now the first time, the pain when Blythe would latch would last for about 30 seconds, and I would like have to punch the wall, and it lasted for like 2-3 days, and then that was it. I was used to it. This time I didn't have that type of painful sensation. I had pain because he had a tongue tie, and so that could, I'm gonna pull it off. That could also cause your baby, I'm just going to keep talking, y'all ignore what I'm doing. That could cause your nipples to hurt too if your baby has a tongue tie, because it prevents their tongue from going all the way over their gums. And so it'll feel like they're gnawing. Like, it doesn't feel like that, but that is what it feels like. I don't know. It hurts so bad at that point that you can't really describe the sensation. But it doesn't last forever. There are remedies and ways to get around it. There are nipple guards, clippings for surgical clippings. I mean, like, you could get your baby that little extra thing cut if it doesn't fix itself. So don't give up if things do seem to be pretty painful. I'm gonna take it off. But none of the pain lasts forever. If you have dry, cracked, chafed nipples, that could cause some pain as well. And there are things that you could do for that too. You could get lanolin to help with that problem. Don't give up. It can be painful, but it doesn't last all the time, as long as you use all of your resources to make sure you are giving yourself the best chance of getting rid of the pain or avoiding the pain. Breast pumps. I did try a breast pump off Amazon. I wasn't impressed. I would like to start pumping so that I could like have just, you know, to have milk or whatever. But I find them to be rather uncomfortable. So I don't have any advice on those. Only thing I can say about breast pumps is that I have tried the one that you squeeze, like it has the handle and you have to pump it. And I have tried the electrical one that has the cord that you use to pump the milk out. And then I have tried the cordless, the hands-free and cordless one. I definitely prefer the one that you could just put in your sports bra, your nursing bra or whatever, and walk around with it, because the other two methods require you to like sit still Who has time for that? I mean, if you are one of those moms who just get to sit in pure nursing bliss, I wish I was you. If you have a super busy schedule or you like to be mobile, I would recommend the hands-free electric pump. Milk collectors, if you tend to get really leaky, they don't work for me because I don't like to wear bras, but they're just like little saucer dishes that you just put them in your bra, and this will prevent you from leaking everywhere, and you can actually put that into a bag to collect and freeze as well. Mastitis, I'm just running down a list of things that you should know. I'm sorry, no particular order, okay? Just roll with me. Mastitis can be prevented if you make sure that your baby is feeding completely from each boob. When whatever boob they start on, they finish that boob completely. If you start pumping on another boob, just make sure that you are emptying it completely, because this could cause your milk to over collect in that particular boob, which could cause a milk duct to get stopped up, and that is very painful. So in order to prevent that, you could do hand expression. Just make sure you're squeezing all of the milk out, and you could do this while your baby is on your boob, and whichever boob they're on, you just do like a gua sha massage. So you could use the actual little gua sha massager, or you could just push down, squeeze on the side, and that will help make sure all that milk is getting to your baby and not just sitting there. As far as a breastfeeding schedule, your baby will follow some sort of schedule eventually. Don't get discouraged if your baby starts to do this thing where they will eat like every 30-45 minutes. It seems like you can't fill them up, and they are crying and screaming at the top of their lungs. It's a phase called cluster feeding. I don't know why they do it. I'm not a lactation consultant. I'm only going by things that I have learned based off of my 2 breastfeeding journeys, 1 complete, 1 ongoing. So I don't know why they do that, but they are okay. Okay, it'll feel like you're failing at motherhood. Okay, it'll feel like your baby's not, like you're not satisfying your baby. Just see it through. If you are very concerned, of course, just take them to their pediatrician, give them a call, and they can help you out with that. But don't get discouraged. It's normal. You're not doing anything wrong. So can you have alcohol while you are breastfeeding? This is really like one of those yeah, but no type of things, because everything says yeah, but no, right? So it's one thing about it is that it depends on how much you drink, of course, your body weight. You have to remember that the way the body was designed is pretty perfect. So just because you put something in your mouth doesn't mean it's instantly coming out. So some people feel you don't have to pump and dump. Some people feel that it's best to pump and dump. I personally would just wait till your baby is older and they are having those long hours in between those periods of breastfeeding. And they have testers, so you could test your milk for alcohol just to be sure. But I'm pretty sure our parents were probably giving us drugged up milk anyway. I'm not gonna say that on YouTube. Somebody might get mad. But anyway. So yeah, it's best to avoid it if you don't know. Some people have a method. I am not one of those people. So it is possible to figure this out. So just do your research first is what I will say. Hunger cues for your baby. So when your baby is very hungry, they will scream and holler, and you will notice that their little fists are like this. Their little fists are very tight. And once you start to feed them, their little fists will open up. And this means I'm hungry. This means I am full and satisfied. Another thing that you can do is just listen to your baby. So your baby will have different ways of communicating, different types of cries or coos that could let you know that they are hungry. For my baby, he will shrill at the top of his lungs if he is very sleepy and does not want to go to sleep. But he will do a like that type of on and off cry if he is hungry. Yeah, you do. So look for body cues, and also the listen to their cry. And if you, once your baby is older, I would say, well, it depends on the baby, but once your baby is pretty mobile, they will turn to the breast because they can smell you and everything. They will turn to try to find your nipple if they are hungry or want to be soothed by being on your boob. Yes, I know, that is very true. There are several different holes that you can, there are several different ways you can hold your baby while you're breastfeeding them. You can do the traditional, you know, you can hold them like a football. My favorite is to lay down with my baby, put him on his side, and feed him that way. That way, if he falls asleep, I do that a lot at night, because that way if he falls asleep, I will leave him there. I will give him, you know, a good 20 pats on the back. You burped? All right. And I'll just leave him there. I do try to make sure we're a little elevated. I don't know if you have to. I just feel as though it helps with digestion. That's just me, not a lactation consultant. Not a lactation consultant. Not a lactation consultant, okay? Just my personal preference. You can supplement your breast milk with formula. If you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm failing, my baby is not getting enough, there is nothing wrong with adding formula to help you out. Nothing wrong with that at all. Also, if you are breastfeeding, another supplement you want to make sure you are giving your baby is vitamin D. That is one thing that they will get in formula that they don't get so much of in breast milk. I'm not really sure what that whole thing is, but I think it's because we don't spend as much time like out in the sun as we used to, so we're not getting a lot of natural vitamin D like we used to. So yes, they will recommend that you give your baby vitamin D drops. They have the bottles where you just kind of like tip them over and they drip out, and then they have the ones that are like the plungers, the traditional medicine plungers, kind of like that. Well, not kind of, exactly like that. So you can administer the vitamin D to your baby. If you are unsure whether or not your baby is getting enough milk, you could just go to the pediatrician and ask them, or, you know, call because of COVID or whatever. So they have different protocols now. So you call and ask for an appointment, say you want to get your baby weighed, and they will weigh your baby and just have you come back in a few days. Or I know my pediatrician for my kids is also a lactation consultant. So while what she did with me was she weighed the baby and then had me sit in the room and wait, feed the baby, make sure that I was latching, getting the baby to latch correctly and all of that, and fed him, and then we weighed him again to make sure that he was actually getting milk, getting enough milk, and also make sure your baby is peeing. Like, I think it's like 5 pissy diapers. So if your baby is gaining weight and peeing, you know that your baby is getting milk. The pooping is different with breastfed babies because they don't follow the same exact poop schedule. So yeah. Another thing I would suggest, get a lactation consultant. Even if this is not your first time, it's nice just to have one. It's nice just to know where you could get in contact with one, because things happen. Like this time my baby had a tongue tie. I didn't know what was going on. I thought that the pain was normal and all of that. It wasn't normal. And I was almost to the point where I was like, you know what? I can't do this. That's what I was telling myself in my head, but I wasn't going to give up. But I'm glad I, reached out to the lactation consultant because it let me know that I was doing the right things. It's just that there was an issue I did not have control over at that time. So it just helped reinforce the security in, I don't want to say security in my motherly instincts, but basically that's what it did. So one of the last things I want to mention is how your significant other or the people around you can help during your breastfeeding journey. So this is a big beef that my dad and I had when I breastfed Blythe. A lot of people felt some type of way because, well, she couldn't go anywhere, number one. And number two, they couldn't feed her because I can't just give you my boob. As far as number one is concerned, I was the only person who carried her, so I didn't really care that other people couldn't get her. But the other things with them not being able to feed her, it was just kind of like, yeah, you're gonna have to get over it. There are other ways that you can assist me though. Do the housework. If your significant other is sitting down nursing your baby, it could take anywhere from 15 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes to 45 minutes to feed a baby. It just depends on the baby. So it would be nice if, there's a pile of dishes or the clothes need to be folded, that you could just go ahead and take care of that task. So that way she's not like, okay, hurry up, baby, hurry up, so that she could get back to her other task. And there's one thing, I love my boyfriend, but there's one thing that he does that irks my nerves. Whenever the baby cries, he'll say, I don't have a boob, I can't make you happy. Or not exactly I can't make you happy, but like, I don't have a boob, I can't do it, like da 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 da. That's what he'll say to the baby. And so like, I'll come in from the other room and I'm like, what are you seeing that makes him hungry, right? So my suggestion is learn the baby's hunger cues as well. Even though you are not nursing the baby, you can learn the hunger cues, because you saying, oh, I don't have a boob, or just blaming everything on the baby being hungry and wanting the boob, it feels very, I don't know the word I'm using. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it just feels like you're not trying. It feels like you're not trying. It feels like you don't trust our motherly instincts enough for us to know that the baby is hungry. Like, so yes. The other suggestion I would have as far as aiding in the breastfeeding journey is be supportive and encouraging. And that could be very different. So being encouraging is, hey, yeah, you could do this. Encourage them to keep going or whatever, but be supportive and listen to their needs. For example, when Blythe and I, we were kind of like towards the end. I think we were past the end of our breastfeeding journey, and I was pretty much over it. It was just us, and so it was things that people weren't seeing, where she would be very aggressive. It was no longer consensual, okay? She was aggressive. She would pull on me, scratch on me, and it wasn't a happy journey anymore. And I was ready. I was done. I was like, this is it. This is a wrap. And so, yeah, her dad, he's always been in and out. And so this was going on during the period where, he wasn't really involved. So once he was back in the picture, I was expressing my, I won't say frustrations, or it was just, So I was expressing my about it, and he was doing his best to be encouraging. Oh, it's good for her, keep going, da 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 da. And so then maybe like a few days went by and we were on FaceTime, and he got to see the way she was treating me. And he was like, oh yeah, it's time for her to, get off. And so that's where the support came in. So you have to listen to your partner and remember that it's her body and she is experiencing a lot of things that you aren't seeing. So just listen and be encouraging yet supportive at the same time. So that is pretty much it for this video. If I left some things out and I should do a part 2, be sure to comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you turn on the notification bell. That way next time I post a video, you will know. Bye.